All right. Maybe long overdue. My man Hunter Sands in the building, shooting the shit with Sands, as most of you may already know him as. First time linking up with you, bro. It's I would say long overdue, but I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we can just get this thing going.
Way overdue. All right, my name is Hunter Sands. I host a podcast. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on here, but I'll say it. It's called Shooting the Shit with Sands. If you need it, it'll probably be in the description. And, it is what it is. I do sports content, but I put a little comedy twist on it, and that's about it, man. Die-hard Heat, Hogs, and Bucks fan. So I'm doing a lot of winning these days, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, bro. Your podcasts have been great lately. It's like you can set like the initial start. I enjoyed you from the get-go, but seeing you grow and develop, it's like you're so comfortable behind the mic, bro, and it's honestly the comedic twist that you bring is different than anything else that I have seen out there. Now, I may be biased, but so, we'll just leave it at that, but freaking pumped that you've continued to roll with 71 episodes now, like hour-long episodes of you covering everything from, like you said, Bucks football, Hogs football, and then the obvious NBA guru. Yeah, bro, you're doing great work, and like I said, I've acknowledged this many times, not necessarily on this platform yet, but you were one of the inspirations behind getting me going. So thanks out to you for that. And, that's one of the reasons why I'm stoked to have you on here, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I sat there during COVID. So if anybody doesn't know, I got laid off during COVID. I moved in with my girlfriend in Louisiana, drive 8.5 hours. I applied to 60 jobs in about like 4 to 5 months, did not get a call. So I said, you know what? I'm not just going to be straight up useless in this house,
Right.
Screw it. Let me go and make a podcast, which I've been wanting to do for like 4 or 5 years. I even started one with our friend Chris for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I started one for a long time with Chris, and it was like 2 episodes, and we had planned it for a long time, and then he moved to Austin, and it kind of I thought we had a real good chemistry, and it was going to be good. But then I moved here, got a podcast going, and I just kept going. I think the sound quality, like when I listen to myself now, I think I'm way better than like episode 1. But I really do appreciate the whole inspiration thing. I kind of talked my shit on one episode about it. Like, man, I inspired a lot of you motherfuckers. Like, y'all don't know nothing.
You did. I remember that one from early on. I was laughing in the truck when I was rolling.
Yeah.
It's true though, bro.
It wasn't necessarily at y'all, but like, I don't know. I just saw a lot of people when I started popping off because I was like I don't want to be that arrogant guy. I was like a popular person in our area in the DFW, and then I released a podcast. Then I see people start releasing their first single for their mixtape that's trash. I start seeing like people start being Twitch streamers. I'm going at Taji. People start being Twitch streamers and stuff like that. And I'm like, I see what's going on here. And my channel is not like huge or nothing like that, but I think I'm proud of my content. I bring my own little twist to it, and I do what I can. So
yeah, man,
you know what I mean.
No doubt, and you referenced Chris earlier, so we'll go ahead and cut to the chase and get going with the football talk. That's why people click on this link, anyways, right? We can save all the other stuff for later. But I mean, obviously, big game on Monday for us. Chris and I, hopefully, maybe a preview here, sneak peek. I'm going to try to get Chris on here as well. I want to hear his thoughts on the game. So he's obviously a diehard Eagles fan. Those of you that don't know Chris Wilson. Yeah, so we're going to try to bring a little Cowboys-Eagles Monday night preview, hopefully tomorrow at some point too. But with that being said, man, some big college football games today. Your Hogs.
Oh, baby.
You guys took care of business. That's three wins now against teams inside the state of Texas. And you obviously got the head-to-head against me. You see my 2 logos here in the background. In the same weekend, Cowboys-Bucks. Great game, fantastic, loved it. I went live after that game too. Really enjoyed all 4 quarters, but you got the nod. And then just not 2 days later, I'm in Tampa, and I just am at a loss for words by the thrashing that your Arkansas Razorbacks gave my Texas Longhorns on national television in primetime in a hostile environment. Texas wasn't ready for the physicality, and we saw that again. today on full display. But I'm gonna let you have the reins, bro. This is your show. You got the heads up on me twice here, so talk about your Hogs, man.
Basically, I understand, though. I understand the disrespect towards our program. See, I think that what everybody can gather from Arkansas fans is, one, we're hella passionate. All right, I relate
no question
us
about
to
that.
I relate us to Philadelphia Eagles fans. We know we're trash. All right, one, we do know we're trash, but like we have this like random hope in our mind that we can go like 8-4. They think they can go 11-5 every year, but at the same time, we're going to hold everybody accountable that needs to be held accountable. We're going to do all that. We're going to say, hey, this player is stinking it up, bench him or not. Yeah. And the thing is, I think that I understand we're a bottom feeder. I think that we're better than Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt is so garbage that people have forgot that Vanderbilt exists in the SEC. They just got beat like 64-0, 62-0 by Georgia. But at the same time, it's like Arkansas brings in a lot of talent. As you can see, like Dietrich Wise went to the Patriots. The Patriots love Arkansas players. I don't know what it is. And then
Jalen Catalon, too, by the way, should have been at Texas.
I
player.
do believe he is the best safety in the country. I know it's biased, but at the same time, there's an argument there is that he is the best safety in the SEC, which means he's the best safety in the country, most likely, right?
Yeah. Usually
and then Trey Flowers going to the Patriots too. But this team this year, it's like we have returning players in the same program with Sam Pittman, who I don't know how you can hate Sam Pittman. He is just this nice, loving guy who actually cried in his press conference when he got introduced as the Arkansas head coach. Because he thought he was never going to get a shot.
You can tell the passion, like the ability to lead men, like that's obviously very clear. Amazing. You see that. And then Stone referenced it too. I think I saw his message. He said in the post-game presser today after they beat A&M, just after you guys just beat A&M, he said he cracked a beer in his press conference. So, he's a relatable dude, to say the least.
He is. And that's why I just love him, man. And the thing is with Arkansas, one thing we've always had is just great O-linemen, great trench play. And then this year, I don't know how Barry Odom has done it. It's almost like a genius play by him. It's like get 3 dominant pass rushers, even on the inside pressure. They had to double John Ridgeway, who is 3 weeks off an appendectomy, by the way, out there playing SEC football. And he's having to get 3 weeks off appendectomy.
Did not know that. That's crazy.
And last week when he played jaw, he was 2 weeks off. So he's 3 weeks off of appendectomy, and he's out there playing D-tackle, getting double-teamed, which opens up Trey Williams and Zach Williams to get the pressure on the quarterback. It was just – in A&M, I said this in the group message. College recruiters, please, and offensive coordinators, stop recruiting quarterbacks and then treating them like they're D linemen at quarterback when they have to play as freshmen. Please stop doing that. We did it with Hornsby, and then they did it with their backup.
You saw it with Malik Hornsby today. They just they pretend like these guys, have an elite set of legs, but just have 2 hands tied behind their back and just can't throw the football. I get it. You're trying to protect them, and when you have a defense like Arkansas, I understand the philosophy. You can get away with that stuff and trying to simplify the offense. Don't turn the football over. Just keep the clock moving. I get that, but I understand your point too. It's like at some point you gotta cut the umbilical cord. Let them off the leash a little bit and let them go figure out how to play football.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah. So on my side of things today, it was a great bounce back victory again.
Murder.
Yeah. So we got the get right
points,
game.
Right?
Yeah, 70-35 against Tech in the Steve Sarkisian era of their Big 12 opener. I talked about on Twitter thinking before the Texas and Arkansas game, right? We kind of had a little conversation, and I completely just neglected to understand or appreciate what just what's going on in the minds of 18 to 21-year-old kids. Like the ability to just overcome an environment like that with a new coaching staff, and you start off relatively well, I guess, with Hudson Card. But so to me, Steve Sarkisian, he kept dropping these nuggets on all of his press conferences about he kept referencing, what is the word for it? Performance anxiety. He kept saying that.
Yeah.
And so, I just thought that was interesting that, a coach would kind of openly acknowledge something of that nature. But to me, I remember at one point in my head thinking at some point, it's got to be a significant level of that, or at least in Steve Sarkisian's mind, to acknowledge it not once, but twice, and I think even 3 times. So when we see the offense under Hudson Card, and then we see the offense under Casey Thompson, to me, who, by the way, I think he, at one point before today's game ended, led the charge of 20 out of 22 drives in which they scored, and 18 of which were touchdown leading drives. Okay, so the offense is obviously clicking at a different level with Casey Thompson under center. But what I'm getting at is Hudson Card wasn't ready for that stage. And, you take that away, Arkansas was better than Texas in every facet of the game. They completely bullied them. They controlled the trenches. Like it was a beatdown. Okay, but
I don't know about that.
I'm wondering if I go back and I maybe see through the lines or try to uncover what Steve Sarkisian is saying. I'm wondering if that was him hinting at Hudson being the more talented thrower of the football, but mentally not being ready to process what's happening in front of him on a football field. It's just I wanted to talk about that, but I just didn't. I didn't have. I don't know. I didn't really just feel comfortable coming out and saying it, but I think that's how I feel right now, and I don't know. I just wanted to see maybe if you agree, if you see the same things, or if I'm biased towards Casey Thompson now because he's having so much success.
I think that it's unfortunate. I think it's horrible. I'm sorry. I think it's horrible. Like, you can say you need a lot of talent. It's awesome to have talent at every position in a college football program, other than quarterback, unless you're Alabama. Because then Hudson Card makes 2 or 3 throws. He had the post route to
Jordan Winnington.
Winnington. I said Whitaker on my stream. Winnington. He had that one. He had a wide open streak route, and he had another wide open streak route that he missed. That changes the whole momentum of the football game.
Yeah.
And then Casey Thompson comes in and leads a touchdown drive immediately.
And then another
running
one,
the ball and
2
all
consecutive.
That. And exactly. So that is kind of weird. And he's in Fayetteville. Dude, Fayetteville is mostly against Texas, who we're raised to hate, like I said on my podcast. We're raised to hate Texas fans. And we've never been as good as them since I've been alive until Ryan Mallett came. And that situation went down terribly. Bobby Petrino, motorcycle. You're killing it, bro. Stealing playbooks from Rutgers. Do you remember that?
Yes,
they stole plays. But other than that, yes, I think performance anxiety is real. And I said on my podcast, I think Texas finally, they had been looking for quarterbacks forever. And then it's just Texas's luck.
Since Colt McCoy, really, 2010.
Exactly.
And then, Sam Ellinger kind of rights the ship, but he never really took him to the elite level.
And I think they found guys. Unfortunately, I said it's Texas's luck. They found 2 guys that they're going to have to choose between. I think that's so unfortunate, and that's Texas' luck. But, I think they have talent, and I think performance anxiety is a very real thing.
So back to Casey Thompson, too, real quick. By the way, Guy, I could not be happier for the dude who is stuck with Texas through everything. He's entered the transfer portal, rethought his decision, came back. By the way, this is a dude that he's from Oklahoma. Everybody thought was going to Oklahoma.
Crazy.
From the Tulsa area, and his dad wanted him to go there. That's a whole other story, but I think his dad actually played there. And then, of course, wanted his son to go there. He's stuck through everything, been the backup 3 years now, and he finally gets the chance to start and just shines. But so what I also wanted to talk about a little bit too, when you hear Casey talk, they do these media availability days that Texas their media team posts on YouTube and stuff. So I try to keep track of just listening to everybody that I possibly can, keeping close tabs on the players and their thought process. And one thing that really stood out to me is Casey Thompson said his favorite movie of all time is Inception, because he likes to think. He likes to think about movies and things as they're unfolding. He says he's a big movie guru. But to me, I don't know a guy my age or anybody that I play sports with that enjoys the movie Inception, because it's such a brain twist. It's a mind game, right? So to me, if it's just weird things that I pay attention to. I don't know, man. when he says something like that, to me as a quarterback, the position in which you have to process more information than anybody else pre and post snap, right? I think his brain just operates on a level that's different than Hudson Card and then maybe even other quarterbacks, his peers within the conference and otherwise. So I'm just happy to see. Yeah, I'm happy to see just finally some stability. The decision making and the way he navigates the pocket is special, and I think that's what really separates him. And then he throws the football with confidence. So yeah, but so I say all that to say this. I guess every now and then you gotta lick your wounds and sometimes walk through the fire before you can really thrive yourself. So maybe thank you, Arkansas, for ultimately pointing us in the right direction at the quarterback position.
No doubt. And I also think that y'all having did y'all have Rice the next week as well? Or am I crazy? What was it?
That was our get-right game. They won 58-0 last week.
And then Tech, who has no defensive presence whatsoever. I think that's going to help the confidence of those young quarterbacks too. So
absolutely.
That's very good for y'all.
And the question mark today too, a huge shout out to the offensive line, the big boys up front, Christian Jones, Denzel Okafor, Derek Herstetter, Junior Angulau, and Jake Majors. I said Jake Majors out of order. He's the center. But that was our biggest question mark. And after the Arkansas game, we came, we regrouped, and all the content creators that I speak to, all the people on Inside Texas, the biggest question mark was, everybody freaking out about the offensive line. And, Kyle Flood's supposed to be this offensive line wizard coming over from Alabama, but that was just a huge question. But to me, it all just points back to Arkansas's defensive front is really that good.
I was about to say, it's not really that hard to you got to put 1 + 1 = 2.
Right. So Texas is still, dude. Yeah. Absolutely. Texas is still having to overcome, all these Alabama coaches now that Steve Sarkisian brought over with them, and then not including Pete Kwiatkowski came over from Washington, of course, but they're having to coach out all these old, different, these coaching styles and all the bad habits that maybe they were taught from a previous regime. I don't know that to be true, so I can't necessarily say that, but they got to kind of just, work through, weed some of the bad stuff out, and it's going to be a process, but ultimately one game doesn't define you, and I was happy to see that just, the mental fortitude, at least for Texas to rebound on 2 consecutive weeks and play pretty decent football. So that was good to see.
Yeah. I saw that last year with one game doesn't define you when we beat Mississippi State. The quarterback looked like trash, and then next thing you know, we're 4-6 for the season, 3-6. I don't count the Auburn game. If you didn't see it, they spiked the ball going backwards. Obvious fumble. They didn't call it. It is what it is, though.
Oh my! You know what? I remember seeing that. I remember that being a big deal, but I don't really remember any of the details of it.
One of the worst calls of all time. It was horrible. He spiked it behind his back. It was the worst call ever.
I'll have to go back and check
Dude,
check that. What else do we need to talk about, bro? You if there's anything that's prevalent on your mind, you want to keep talking Arkansas football. The game today, by the way, we can go into detail on that. But
it's I'm still such on a high that we won. I feel like I didn't even watch the whole game.
You got to process it for a while, right?
Yeah, and I did a reaction video today, and I said there's not going to be one big – this literally happened on the reaction video that I'm going to drop in a couple of days. I said there's not going to be one big play on this defense today, and I'm not BSing. The next 2 plays, they ran a 65-yard touchdown, so I was just I was out of it today. But honestly, I want to get into the Bucks and the Rams for a little bit if we can.
Oh, let's do it. What did we say? I listened to your podcast, episode 71. And immediately I texted you while I was listening. That is my NFC Championship preview, without question. If I have to pick 2 teams right now playing in the NFC Championship game, it's the Bucks and it's the Rams. So
I just think that it's so interesting with AB out. It's such a big deal.
Yeah.
People think we have this and the Bucks do have a lot of depth. I'm not rejecting that. But instead of AB, we're going to have Scotty Miller, who is really just a one-play pony, whatever you call it. And he's a streak route guy. He's not going to get open in space, all that stuff. And then we got, I think Chris Godwin's going to go crazy against their linebackers and slot corners, but Mike Evans with
you made a good
Ramsey
point. Also, too, I wanted you to maybe elaborate if you can. After I ask you this question, though, I wanted to ask you, do you think there's a chance we see more Jalen Darden possibly? Because you referenced Scotty Miller, but with AB being out, like I don't know what he's doing in practice, what the overall feel for Jalen Darden is right now. For those that don't know, the dynamic receiver, rookie out of UNT. It's just one of my pet cats for last year's draft that I was raving about, but I thought he should have been a day 2 pick at worst. But comes from a smaller school, smaller in stature, but has all the measurables, all the numbers to back up. Anyway, I'm excited to see him play. So, I mean, is there any reports about potentially seeing him get more snaps, or what's going on there?
From what I've read, so last week he was held out with an injury. He did not play. So from he's not going to play. To me, the feel that I get is they know he's talented. But they're only going to give him the opportunity when they are depleted. Because we still got Tyler Johnson, who probably should have been cut. We still got Scotty Miller, and now
he was kind of a beast in the red zone last year a little bit too, right? Wasn't Tyler Johnson at least for like a 4-week stretch? I feel like he was making some noise in the red zone.
I thought Tyler Johnson was the next wide receiver too for our team, the outside guy that would accompany Mike Evans. But maybe that's just the Tom Brady effect. Who really knows? But he seemed like he had hands. He had the one play that stood out last year was a huge catch in the playoffs against the Saints, where he turns over his opposite shoulder, catches it for a first down while we're inside our own 15 or something like that. That's what stood out to fans. But then this year we go into offseason, they're talking about cutting him. So the wide receiver position is kind of in shambles, quote unquote, if that is shambles. We have AB, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans. But, I honestly don't know. I think Scotty Miller is going to get most of the snaps, and Tyler Johnson is going to alternate for the whole game.
Okay. And we can't forget, obviously, too, about, the Bucs also have 3 pretty competent, at the very least, tight ends who they can deploy lots of different 12 personnel packages with Brait, Gronk, and then obviously, who am I forgetting the third tight end there?
Cameron Brait? O.J. Howard.
Yeah, O.J. Howard. Check your audio. I think it started sounding fuzzy there for a second. I don't know if it's me. It could be on my end. Yeah.
Is it good now?
It might just be me.
Oh, okay. Cut that part of the video out. It's fine.
Yeah, we can check it out. What's our time right now? 22? Okay, we're good.
22.
We're flowing, man.
Wrap
yeah,
it up.
So
I know.
The matchups, strength on strength with Mike Evans and Jalen Ramsey on the outside. Interesting to see how
I don't like that matchup at all.
Yeah, you don't if you're
like
a Bucs
it at
fan.
all. No, I hate it.
Credit to Jalen. He's their pass D is pretty special. He's obviously at the forefront of that. He'll shut down just about anybody's top overall wide receiver there. But like you said, AB out is that's a huge deal. So how do the Bucs adapt? To me, I think we see a lot more 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets even. If they want to try and get a little bit of the run game going to work those play action shots. But to me, man, like we talked about over text, I think it's very likely. I mean, I'm not going to be shocked if we look at the box score at the end of the game. We see both quarterbacks have over 45 passing attempts, maybe even 50 or more. We saw what Dak had to do. An interesting nugget too. I said, obviously, of course, going into that game, I knew that you don't run on the Bucs. Nobody does, and especially not the Rams without their top 2 backs now who are going to be out for this game. They lost Cam Akers before the season started, and now they'll be without Darrell Henderson. So, you trade for Sony Michel. Say what you want about that, but you're not going to run on this team. So, yeah, and Dak checked out of 13 extra run calls in that game. So he had 58 total pass attempts, but it would have been 13 less than that had Dak not literally seen what he was up against at the line of scrimmage and said,
attempts, which is crazy.
That. Exactly. So I think this is finally a game where America really sees what Sean McVay, with his hand-selected, literally hand-plucked from quarterback, can do. for his system. You've got the horizontal element of stretching defenses with the zone run game, and then now you've got the vertical element of stressing defenses with a capable quarterback like Matthew Stafford who can throw the football accurately and on time from every platform, on or off, right? So this is where I think America finally sees like, oh, okay, like this is
Stafford's
why,
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
He's
so,
like that.
I mean, it's to me, it's like, you know, Dak and Matthew Stafford, pretty comparable players, I would say, as far as like the tier that they reside in at the quarterback position. Sean McVay obviously coached in a Super Bowl, led the Rams to a Super Bowl, even with Jared Goff, who I think Matthew Stafford is levels head and shoulders above. It's no disrespect to Jared Goff either. I hate criticizing players on this channel. I never try to do that, but
oh God, don't listen to my channel if you want to hear that.
Yeah,
if you don't want to hear that, do not listen to me.
Oh man, so that's we each got our flavor, but you know, me as a player, I got to be careful. So because I said, I understand
Matt Stafford is
yeah,
leaps and bounds above him, by the way.
Right, but so you know, Kellen Moore, who I think is kind of, you know, the up and coming wonder boy, the offensive wizard there, not quite the reputation that Sean McVay has. So it's like you see with Sean McVay finally has everything in place now to do everything that he wants to do. So I think he's been saving stuff. Like they obviously didn't unleash the full bag, if you want to say that, against the Bears in Week 1. Like we saw Matt a few nice deep throws to Cooper Kupp and company, but you know, he only attempted, I think, 23 pass attempts in that game. So the GOAT, Tom Brady, on the other side, to me, going head to head with a guy like Matt Stafford, who we're finally going to see unleashed. To me, like, dude, it's going to be high octane football. I can't wait for it. So
me either. Another nugget before we get out of here. This is the thing that everybody needs to watch for. The Bucs have given up 12 plays in 3 games of 20 or more yards. They gave up 45 total last year. So we're just giving up big plays to everybody. I think there's going to be some shots made by the Rams. I don't think they'll run, but I will say the Atlanta Falcons had success, like in air quotes, success versus the Bucs run defense with these crack tosses, with these outside runs. I don't know, and I want to see Devin White in space against receivers and tight ends on play action passes.
I think you're going to see it tomorrow, or you're going to. Yeah. So I'll be ready, excited to see that too, man. Dude, I could literally talk on here for 2 hours. We could cover everything under the sun.
We could do a Joe Rogan type podcast.
Let's go. Hey, this has been fun, man. In the interest of keeping things short, you know, we gave hopefully the fans a little bit of entertainment tonight. Talked about the Hogs, who deserve all the credit in the world right now. 4-0, off to one of the best starts in program history. 2 big wins against, you know, rivalries historic rivals in the state of Texas.
Historic, thank you. Don't call them rivals; they're historic rivals. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially
They've
Texas,
been better than
sure.
us for 20 years. Like,
yeah, man. So you and Stone deserve to be pumped and excited and talk your trash, man. I'm excited for both of you guys to see where this journey takes you. You know, you got obviously Georgia on the docket next week, who I said privately against you, I wouldn't be shocked if there's a combined, you know, maybe 13 points scored in that game. That's one of the best defenses I've ever seen.
I want no parts.
Keely Ringo, if you don't know who Keely Ringo is, go ahead and just look him up right now. You won't regret it, and you'll know his name after next week. Or maybe you won't, because you won't see him, because Arkansas literally won't throw in his direction.
No.
But, yeah, man.
He's going to be on Traylon Burks, too.
Yeah, exactly. Is he good? I saw him, like, get carried off the field there for a second, but I don't know.
Oh, that's the thing. After we won, he started doing, like, he was jumping up and running full speed to the fans and all that. I think he's good. It could be just a dream.
He's good.
I hope so.
Yeah, he'll be all right. All right, bro. Well, I think we got to probably do this again tomorrow, man. There's so much to talk about on the NFL slate, like 5 games that I'm really interested in, all happening tomorrow night. Like the afternoon slate is crazy. But yeah, whenever you're free, bro, let me know. Let's hop on here and chat it up again.
Oh, No doubt, man, I will.
I'm all for it, brother.
Yes,
Go ahead and
sir.
plug your stuff one more time. Tell everybody where they can find you, and I'll do the same thing. I guess we'll both probably post this to each of our channels so you can find it there. But
Yeah.
the Lando Show on Twitter, YouTube, and I think Landon_Holy on Instagram. And then I'll let you go ahead and plug your stuff too, man.
All right, so it's Shooting the Shit with Sands. There's stars with the H and the T, W/Sands, okay, SANDS. And then we got Degenerate HLS, because I just post gambling pics most of the time and talk trash to the fans that we're beating on my Twitter.
Keep that winning streak
And then-
going, bro, too.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Sands is
Hunter-
scorching 6.
Hey, Sands scorching 6. Hey, I went like 14-2 last week on my bet, so this hot streak won't last long. Get in while you can. And
ride the
then
wave.
On Instagram, it's Hunter Lee Sands, HunterLeeSands. Go give me a follow, man. I'm just here to be funny and give some sports knowledge. That's all I'm doing. All right, that's all I'm doing, bro.
All right, man. Well, we'll keep it up, brother. Good catching up, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow. I'll talk to you soon.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'll text you.
Deuce.
Duh!